Hello everyone and welcome to today's morning pot chart analysis videos on Tuesday the 8th of August with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Hantec Markets. Well, the European session is very quiet open to the week generally, really. We've not really got a great deal of direction on any of the markets. Slight amount of dollar weakness, which has driven euro, sterling higher, yen higher, and even the Aussie dollar and Canadian dollar higher. The only laggard is the Kiwi, which is interesting because it comes in front of the RBNZ monetary policy, which the Kiwi has been weak for a few days now, on the expectation that the RBNZ will be fairly dovish. So that is interesting. But we've seen this non-farm payrolls related spike higher on the dollar, just starting to drift back again. What we've got is Treasury yields, which fell away yesterday a little bit into the close last night. What we had was a couple of Fed members, Kashkari and James Bullard, both dovish anyway, but just sort of suggesting that inflation was an issue for the States. Bullard, for example, was saying that even if the US got to say 3% on unemployment, the inflation would be still a problem. So what we have seen is the Treasury yields falling back lower, 10-year and also the 2-year, which has impacted. But US markets on equities continue to pull higher. S&P 500 all-time high yesterday on a closing basis, not intraday, but still on a closing basis. It still sort of suggests that the fact that the Dow has been pulling higher, all on a consistent basis, like 9 consecutive all-time highs on the Dow. Not so much on the S&P 500, but still. But we are seeing that in the States, but not really seeing much of a follow-through in the European session, or the Asian session for that matter. We had weaker than expected Chinese trade data yesterday. This morning, which just has impacted on risk appetite a little bit. So what we have got today is a sort of a mild risk off with gold higher, but nothing too significant in terms of direction today. So in terms of what we've got to look forward to in terms of economic announcements, nothing really, apart from the jolts, US jolts, jobs openings, if I can find it. Expected, wow, actually that's been increased. It was expected to mildly sort of come lower, but 578 is interesting, actually, on the jolts. But it's basically it's just pulled back a little bit in the last couple of months, and the jolts, here we are. Will they sort of tick higher? I mean, 578 would be sort of. Yeah, I mean, it'd be a positive number, yes, but I don't imagine the jolts will be too significant for the dollar this afternoon. That's at 3 o'clock. Right, so my chart today is the French CAC 40. Now, the French CAC, interesting chart, really, had been trending higher, but then subsequently broke that trend and is now forming a very strongly well-defined downtrend. And that's testing that downtrend. Friday's rally on the weaker euro tested that downtrend, but fell over a little bit yesterday. Again, testing today. But you see these momentum indicators ticking sort of to levels whereby the rallies have tended to be sold into throughout this downtrend. On the RSI, MACD lines, yes, have ticked higher, but again, still underneath neutral. It'll be interesting to see if these stochastics continue higher, but it's sort of up back to a level, isn't it? Really, sort of stuck in a line around 5229 or 5230. Really, are these old lows, sort of a basis of resistance, really. But anyway, really between 5220, which is about that high there, and 5260, you could argue is a base pattern, isn't it? So a breakout above 5260 would complete a base pattern, but for now we've still got to sell into strength, I think, on this French CAC 40. Momentum indicators on the hourly chart, again, just struggling a little bit as that rally that we saw on Friday just sort of dissipates slightly, but all this sort of resistance between 5220 and 5260. I think is key now near term. So a failure around this resistance again, and you can see it rolling over and sort of probably pulling back towards the lows again. 5084. But it's an interesting sort of time for the French CAC 40. Similar sort of similar sort of rally into resistance as with the DAX, both struggling to really continue that traction from Friday. So I wish you good luck in your trading, and I'll speak to you again later. Thank you.